there, this is Gayle Suzanne and welcome to Moving Forward with Gayle Suzanne. Today we're going to talk about self-care and we're going to go more into the worrying and the guilt aspects of it rather than the, oh, I have to brush my teeth and wash my face kind of thing for self-care. That's totally 100% important to do as far as taking care of yourself, as far as rejuvenating, doing the daily basics, drink a lot of water, eat an apple a day, those type of minuscule things, I guess. They're minor things that we do every day to take care of ourselves. But today I'm going to talk about two things that really, really stop us sometimes from taking full care of ourselves. And that's the yeah buts and the what ifs. The yeah buts are the things that keep us from, I think, just either going after what we want in order for self-care, or they keep us back because of guilt. Let me give you an example. When we work all week long, and let's say women work all week long, and we make dinner, and we take care of the kids, and we're running this one to practice, and that one to get new shoes, and doing all kinds of things, cleaning the house, cleaning out the fridge, mopping the floors, dusting, and then we're working a full-time job. We don't get to bed until 11 o'clock at night. And we tell ourselves, I'm going to rest on Sunday. But we have that guilt because everything else has to get done. So what we do is we tell ourselves, yeah, I'm going to rest, but things need to get done, so I can't rest completely. And I don't know how many women I have coached and talked to along the way that have said my guilt and fear of being selfish is keeping me from really giving myself the care that I need. And I think the biggest thing is we feel like we have to do everything. We feel like we have to be Superwoman. And we think, okay, if we have a set of dirty dishes in the sink on a Sunday, that we have to do it because the kitchen's not clean and it's not going to get us relaxed if the kitchen's not clean. And I really believe that we need to make a conscious decision to say, I'm going to take care of myself regardless. So I personally work very hard. I have a couple things going on. I'm always putzing and doing something. But pretty much every other week, I'll take a Sunday and I will just lie on the couch, watch old movies, watch new movies, whatever, watch stupid sitcoms, and just relax. The dishes might already be in the sink, not clean, and I just try to turn my mind off of it without guilt, without feeling like I have to do it. I can't relax because I have to do this, that, and the other thing. I should relax, but all these things need to get done. And I have learned to turn those things off and just say, I need to relax. I need to have some downtime because I'm really no good when it comes to going. When I am exhausted and I feel it and I'm just sluggish and I get crabby, I get irritated, I get just miserable to be around when I don't take a good chunk of time to relax and just chill out, without the guilt. Because if I'm lying there on the couch feeling guilty and feeling bad because I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do everything, it's really not really making me rest. It's not re-nourishing my soul. It's not replenishing. I'm not re-energized because I'm just worried about everything else. I feel guilty. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this because this needs to get done, that needs to get done. So a big part of self-care is taking time out for yourself without the guilt. Because if I'm lying there watching SpongeBob or some stupid show, and I'm thinking, oh, I got to be doing this, I got to be doing that, my mind is not at rest. I'm not resting my mind. I'm not relaxing my whole body because I have so much worry about all these other things. And newsflash, the things are going to get done regardless. They will get done. If you don't do it on a Sunday, you can do it on a Monday or a Tuesday. It doesn't matter. They will get done. So I encourage you to please take the yeah buts and put them aside. I can't do this today because I have that to do. Yeah, but if I do that, then something else won't get done. Trust me, they will get done. You know, it's not, and I am not saying to relax on the couch every single day because then things won't get done. I'm not saying not to pay your bills. I'm not saying not to clean the dishes or whatever. What I'm saying is when you take time out for yourself, sometimes you need to make that commitment that I'm going to watch 2 Lifetime movies today and I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm just going to completely decompress, no computer, no phone, or even just sit there for 2 hours and take a nap. So I don't have time to take a nap. Oh my God, I can't take a nap. I have too many things to do. Because I don't believe we're any good when we keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I know for myself, I get negative, I get crabby, I get upset, you know, that hangry thing, you know, hungry, angry, lonely, tired kind of thing. And I'm not my best self when I don't rejuvenate. And I used to feel guilty about it all the time, but I just told myself, be in the moment. This is what you need to do for yourself. You spend all week long taking care of everybody else, taking care of work, all these other things that you need to take care of. Now is the time for you. And I really, really believe that. So as far as self-care, that's, you know, something to be mindful of. So next time you're tired, next time you just want to relax or just do something fun, don't let the chores that you have to do stop you from it. Because as I said on this show many, many times, we have one life. We have one life. And, you know, you want to take some time to smell the roses and take some time to enjoy things you might not have enjoyed because you're just working all the time. You know, one of the things about that is, you know, that I noticed that we as a society, or a lot of people, they want to just have to keep up with everybody else, and that's why they put so much pressure on themselves so they can't relax. Yeah, but I have to do something as good as my neighbor. I have to do something as good as my friend. You know, I'm thinking about something like, you know, having a dinner party at your house. And, you know, you may look at it 2 ways. I can have a nice spaghetti and meatball dinner that's kind of like chill and relax and just enjoy the people that are there and not be all too fancy. Or you could do something and stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and have little mummies on your cupcakes, and that stuff is fine. But if it's stressing you out so much, it's okay to be normal. It's okay to be simple. It's okay to just have a bunch of people over and order Chinese food just to take the stress off of you. Yeah, but I'm not as good as my friend. Yeah, but the service is not as beautiful or whatever. And you gotta put those things aside because you'll kind of go crazy if you're trying to do everything that everybody else does. You know, I have friends that put on beautiful spreads and they make little flowers out of radishes, and you know, I can't do that stuff. And even if I tried to do it, it would take me 15 hours to do one radish flower. To me, it's not worth it. I'd much rather put together something, you know, that's decent but doesn't take me all week long to do and stress me out. You know, there's so much pressure out there, and the more we can do to keep ourselves stress-free or less stress, the better. Another thing that really keeps us from living our best life, I guess, is the what ifs. And what ifs are just so dangerous. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this person says that? What if? A lot of times our mind just goes in a million directions when we want to do something or when we're in the middle of something, that we come up with all these negative scenarios that might happen, but chances are they won't happen. And that goes on in our head. And self-care a lot of times is taking care of our mindset and taking care of the thoughts that we have in our mind, and just kind of like waiting to see what happens, if it will happen. You know, I think there's a lot of things we can plan for, and I'm not saying not to plan for things. You know, if you know something is going to break, let's say a refrigerator is going to break at your house, you know, to plan, to save money for it, that kind of thing. What I'm talking about is the things that we have no idea what's going to happen, and that we come up with all these scenarios and make a mountain out of a molehill, and it makes us so stressed that we can't have peace of mind. It's not taking care of ourselves if we're constantly thinking of something awful that's going to happen when we have no idea that that's going to happen. I'll give you an example, a personal example. When I was first married and, my husband and I were thinking about having children, the thought in my mind of going through labor, that's terrified me, absolutely terrified me. Nothing else terrified me, the labor pains. That was the thing. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to have labor pains. What if I'm labor for 30 hours? And not thinking that they have medicine and drugs to numb you out. But I was just so afraid of that. Ever since even before I was married, I'm like, oh my God, if I want to have kids so bad, but I don't want to go through labor. So when I eventually did get pregnant, that was the thought on my mind the whole time I was pregnant. Oh my God, okay. I'm afraid of labor, and I would go there thinking that, I don't know, my body would explode or something. I don't know, but I just had this intense fear, and it occupied my mind for 9 months, especially obviously when I was pregnant, but even years before that. And I thought, okay, well, if I'm in really bad labor, then they can just knock me out and I'll be unconscious and have the baby that way. I mean, I thought of every scenario, but I worried and worried and worried and worried. And wouldn't you know, 3 weeks before my due date, my doctor told me that I had to have a C-section. And I said, what do you mean? So I'm thinking that I'd have the C-section 3 weeks later on my due date. And he goes, no, we're going to do it right now. I'm like, what do you mean you're going to do it right now? I'm not ready. But then I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to go through labor at all. I'm just going to have a C-section. And all of those years and months and years, all that time I spent worrying about going through labor, it never happened. It never even happened. I never even had a labor pain, nothing. So that taught me a huge lesson about life, in that, maybe our worst nightmare might come true, but I spent so much time worrying about it and worrying for nothing, for absolutely nothing, because it never happened. So I do believe that some of the things that we have, the what ifs, some of the stuff we can plan for. What if this breaks down? Well, then maybe save a little bit of money. What if, you can have plan B, A, B, C, D, whatever. But some of the things that we worry about never even come to life. They never even happen. A little thing that could happen, like, there's something wrong with my well or something, and before you even know what the outcome is going to be, you might think to yourself, oh my God, it's going to cost me $30,000, when actually it could be a $50 fix. So my advice, or the way I have dealt with this, is trying to be in the moment with certain things and not doing that what if until I find out exactly what's going to happen. Just to deal with life, go with it as much as you can. Be in the moment. I think being mindful and being present and not projecting into the future is really important in our mindset. And when we do project into the future, say, no, these are the facts that I have right now. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to hope for the best, plan as much as I possibly can. Like for me being in labor and the labor pains, I mean, the only thing I could plan for was that the doctor was going to give me drugs, or that I could possibly get knocked out and not feel anything. I mean, and other than that, there's nothing I could really do about it. So I think our mind goes and it steals our peace. And self-care and loving yourselves, and this is what this show is about. I really believe that we want to live joyful lives. We want to live a life of peace and calmness and joy. And all of that worry and all of those concerns that we have, it steals our joy. And I don't know. I just think the what ifs are really, really something that takes away us being in the moment, and it makes us think about the future. What is going to happen? Oh, I can't do that because that might happen. I mean, you know, anything can happen at any time. I mean, a piano could fall from the sky, like right at this moment, and hit me over the head. And it's something I never planned for. You know, I mean, life just happens. I think we prepare as much as we can, but then we need to let it go, you know, and not look at the worst case scenarios. You know, sometimes I remember my daughter was at school one weekend when she was in college a few years ago. And I remember my mind going that I couldn't get in touch with her. And something pretty upsetting happened at her college campus. It was on the news. And I couldn't get in touch with her. And I finally got in touch with her, and she was okay, you know, after a few minutes, which was great. But then there was a 3-hour period where I couldn't reach her anymore. Her phone just went right to voicemail. And oh my God, the thoughts that went through my mind were just insane. And then, you know, a couple hours later, oh, Mom, my phone died. I couldn't charge it. And I was thinking all of that. She was kidnapped, that she was like all these things that really never came to be. I mean, I believe when we have these worries or have worries about certain things, we can, you know, pray about them, give them up to the universe, hope for the best, do all we can, but then in the long run, we really have no control. And 90% of the time, it's usually nothing. It's usually somebody forgot their phone. It's somebody, you know, just forgot to call back or some stupid thing. And if you think back to things in your own life, you know, you might say, wow, I worried about that for so long and nothing ever happened. And, you know, I'm not saying that nothing does ever happen, and it's just up to us to deal with it and to ask for help and to get support if something does happen. But if you really think about it, most of the time, nothing major or as major as we have it in our head will happen. You know, so those were really on my minds, the what ifs and the yeah buts. And maybe to move forward, to help you to move forward, just over the next week or so, just keep mindful or keep a thought about what things you do say yeah but to, and what things you do say what if, and write them down. And when you see them on paper, at least you're aware of them, you know, because sometimes we're not even aware that we do these things. You know, we're just not even aware. If you write them down and say, okay, the next time I do a what if, I'm just going to take everything in the moment, the scenario exactly as it is, and I'm just going to do what I can to make it better if something does happen in the future, but then I'm just going to wait and see instead of worrying about it. Because the worry and guilt, I think it's, you know, I could do 75 shows on worry and guilt. Because worry steals our present, it steals our peace, it steals our joy, and it does no good. Worrying does no good at all. At least if it's moved you forward or if it helped you through something, but it doesn't do any good. It just frustrates you more. And peace of mind and self-care is about keeping yourself, kind of your mind, body, and spirit, you know, all kind of chill and kind of in a relaxed state. You know, self-care is, it's so many facets to self-care. I used to think that self-care was just like, oh, when I needed to relax, I would take a bubble bath or go on a walk or meditate or listen to nice music. And that's wonderful. I used to also think self-care was maybe buying myself flowers or going to the movies, something that I enjoyed. And that's wonderful too. But self-care also goes in your mind and your thoughts and your worry and your guilt. And the only way to change it, I believe, is to become aware of how we're thinking and then to make changes to become more, just be more calm and to be more loving toward ourselves. So I encourage you, take one Sunday a month or one Saturday a month and just spend like 3 or 4 hours just doing something that you love or just chilling out. It could be staying in bed in your pajamas and not showering all day. I mean, one day when somebody had said that to me, I'm like, oh my God, what are you talking about? You can't shower all day. And now, every once in a while I'll do that. I'll stay in my jammies. The winter's coming, get a nice cup of cocoa, stay in my jammies, watch a couple of movies, or just read a good book that I hadn't had a chance to read in a while, and just be. Just be and not have any guilt about it. If somebody says, oh, Gayle, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do laundry, you need to clean the floors, you need to do that. No, I'm not. This chunk of time I'm taking, it's just for me. I am chilling. I'm not thinking about anything. And then you know what? The next day I am refreshed. I am ready to take on more. I'm not tired. I'm not haggard. I'm just ready to take on the world. And that works. It definitely works. I mean, make sure you pay your bills, do all your responsible stuff, but that dirty floor is going to be there tomorrow. It's going to be there later. So don't make that a priority all the time. And as far as the what ifs, just write them down and try to stay in the moment. The what ifs may never, ever, ever, ever happen. So say, right now, this is my situation. I'm going to see what happens as we move forward. And if I have to change my plan or if I have to change my direction, then I will do that. And I'll come up with some new scenarios to make the situation better. But to come up with all these scenarios that are hurting you before they even happen, I don't think that's the best thing to do to care for yourself. It's taken me a long time to learn these things, and I still have a long way to go, but I am aware of them. And it does make a difference in your life because I'm much calmer and I'm happier. I have more joy in my life and more peace for sure. So because I don't do those things and I can relax without guilt. And it may be like, some people might say, oh my God, I'm a mom. I'm supposed to do all this, blah, 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 blah. Who said? You don't have to have guilt. You can just do it. And I'll tell you, everybody around you will be thankful for it because you will be a new person. When you rejuvenate and you're refreshed, you are a new person. You got that kind of, skip in your step, and you're just ready to face the world. You're ready to face life's challenges. So I encourage you to relax, to take self-care steps without guilt, and to get rid of your what ifs. It's not easy, but the first step is to become aware and acknowledge that you do that. So until next time, this is Gayle Suzanne with Moving Forward with Gayle Suzanne. You can visit me on my website, www.gaylesuzanne.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a bunch of these shows on there and other interviews and TV shows that I've been on. I'm here to help you, to give you suggestions, to help you to move forward from a place that you're stuck to a place that you are triumphing in. So until next time, see you later. Bye-bye.